Thank you very much, Norm, and bonjour à tous et toutes. Comme les Olympiques, on peut parler en français ou anglais. Moi, je parlerai en anglais pour protéger les oreilles de mes collègues francophones. Mais comme vous voulez, Konrad. So, no small talk, let's get right to it. So what's the decision going to be about value for signal?
Thank you. And I agreed to this. I said, I love you for doing this because it saves me a speech. I don't know whether that was a good decision or not in light of that first question. But, well, as you know, this became a huge issue in our hearing on group licensing. We decided we have to face the reality. We have big groups rather than categories. So let's not look at conventional TV and specialty or pay TV, but look at together by ownership group. And as it came there, one of the issues in that decision is how do we deal with compensation for conventional broadcasters. The deal that was originally struck in '71 was quite clear. You get mandatory carriage, you get a clean signal, you get greater audience, and you get simultaneous substitutions, but you don't get any fee. And they loved it, and the cable company loved it. It was perfect at that point in time. Time has moved on. We have now a very healthy specialty channel, a sector that occupies about 40% of the total viewing audience, and we also have distribution systems, so the new media, etc. So the conventionals say we are in serious financial difficulties. We need a second income stream. The cable companies over the BDUs say absolutely no, undermine that body. That's the decision before us. We are going to have to decide on it. We have to come out with a solution that's acceptable, not only in terms of a healthy industry, but also acceptable in terms of what consumers will bear, because there is a free alternative. And that if you impose too much a burden on them, they might go to the free alternative. And what I particularly dislike about last year is this media campaign by both sides, doing everything in their power to make Canadian consumers sensitive to the cost of cable TV or satellite TV, rather than trying to cut a deal. They need each other. It's a symbiotic relationship. And rather than fighting it and putting it on everybody's breakfast table, they should cut a deal.
Well, maybe they should, but they did in the United States. Do you think that deal is going to go down?
Well, in the United States, they did a deal after Congress legislated it and said, Congress said, every 3 years you have the option, decide whether you want mandatory coverage or deal. But if you have a deal, want to have a deal, you negotiate it, and may the chips fall where they are. We, the FCC, won't intervene except to ensure that there's a fair negotiation. And that was one model that was put before us.
So why can't we do that?
Well, you shall find out next month what we do,
okay.
Or don't do. I didn't come here to give you a sneak preview.
Okay, but has the decision been made, or is the Commission still meeting?
No, well, the Commission always meets, but we have, every month we meet, etc.
Right.
The last 3 days, we hammered out the decision. It's done in my head. Now it's being written, then it has to be translated and be formulated, and we have to develop a communications plan. And so in March, you will see the result.
Okay, let's ask the audience, how many of you believe that the decision will endorse some form of value for signal? Or that means nobody thinks it's going to happen?
I can't see anything.
Practically, okay, right. And how many don't think value for signal will happen? You're all just scared to put up your hands, aren't you? So I guess they are having the same kind of discussions as you are. One Bay Street analyst, as you may have seen, wrote a report saying that value for signal was dead if the Shaw deal went through, because then there would not be, Global would not be in favor of it. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I think that's that's their view. They also have a view that the Shaw deal, purchasing of CanWest is really a misstep, and they should concentrate on merging Shaw and Rogers. Wall Street analysts always build up wonderful ideas and make assumptions and build projections on that. It seems to me if the Shaw deal happens, it will undoubtedly slightly, hopefully, makes it an atmosphere less tense. But it's still a basic conflict. I mean, both sides have very much dug themselves into positions that I don't quite understand, but I have not seen any signs on either side of relenting or trying to approach this thing as they should do as a business issue.
But in any case, the hearing is over, the testimony is done.
Yeah.
So if Shaw did buy Global, they couldn't come along and say, we've changed, make Global say, just kidding.
They can do that. Absolutely, do whatever they want. It won't influence our decision. Our decision is done. They can, assuming that's the case, they can say, well, we changed our mind and we were now ready to sit down and negotiate. That nothing stops them. Nothing stops anybody from doing it right now.
Some people think if you do the math, Shaw might come out just about even. In other words, they have to pay value for signal, but they'll be getting it from the other cable distributors.
Well, as you say, if you do the math, but the one factor you don't know is what is the amount that they're going to negotiate. Yeah. By the way, you should realize that the negotiation is not necessarily about money. It may be very much be in terms of in kind, in terms of offering special deals for on specialty channels or on Showtime or whatever. I mean, in the US, the experience has shown, and that was the former chairman of the FCC testified before us, that most of the consideration is in kind rather than monetary.
Right. So in this deal that you're not telling us about, there might be a little detail like that.
Nice leading question, but I don't buy it.
So, you know, the tone of that hearing was low. It was low. What do you think about that? Is that going to be the way hearings are from now on, or was that just one particular instance?
I think the fact is we are in a new era. We are a much more competitive era. We no longer have a closed system where basically your only distribution channel is either over the air or by cable. And we don't control it anymore. Control is clearly slipping away more and more as alternate systems are being developed. And there's therefore also less to be had by anyone. There's, you know, you can't play apportionment saying, I'll give you something and you, and everybody go away happy. There just is not. As a result, we have far more competitive hearings. We have far more litigious hearings. We had challenges to CRTC on due process. Something has never happened before, etc. And I think we are just going to be a much more competitive climate in the future than in the past, and this hearing is unfortunately, I think, a foreshadowing. I hope we won't have the publicity campaign or the useless publicity theme that both sides mounted, but will there be less tension? I doubt it.
Interesting. Well, one of the things that might cause some more tension is that in the two deals, the one announced today and the one announced a few days ago, an American banking company, some call it the White House Bank, is very much involved in deciding what may be a crucial element of Canadian broadcasting. And how's the Commission going to deal with that American influence? And how strictly will you scrutinize that part of the deal?
We've always had a lot of American influence. As long as there's as financiers, as participator, that we have no problem. We welcome it. The problem is if there's control or they try to run the company. And in this particular instance, yes, Goldman Sachs has a big stake. So far, they have been there basically as investor, earning a rich dividend, but not running the company. Their decision will not be Goldman Sachs. It will be, first of all, the court which will make the decision on whether the proposal, be it the Shaw proposal or the Asper proposal, or maybe the third-party proposal will be accepted. Secondly, it will be us to have to determine where we have to bless the deal too. Any court approval will be subject to CRTC approval, and we will make sure that it is Canadian controlled. And I don't think anything will change there. As long as Goldman Sachs is there or any other firm is there as a financial participant, fine and dandy. If they want to run the company and control it, different story.